Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Vorpal Board. It is Tuesday night, like day, what feels like 1,000 of the quarantine. And tonight I am joined by Jason Tagmeyer from Button Shy and designer Dustin Dobson to play Dustin and Jason's latest game. It's called Skulls of Sedlec. Guys, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I know you
Yeah, thanks for
canceled your
having us.
plans. I know both of you were headed out today, and you were going to be gathering in big groups, and you said, no, not tonight. I'm going to get together with James, right?
That's
Exactly.
right. Big plans. Big plans.
So this game is currently on Kickstarter, and is like most Button Shy joints, crushing it. I think you're at like 14,000 bucks of a target of like 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
we hit 14,000 today, and which is we do a game almost every month, and we are just about to pass last month's game total today. So it's a
Very
cool
cool.
little milestone.
Yeah.
We
So
always have all these little milestones.
definitely congratulations. You are the most prolific Kickstarter person I have ever personally met, Jason. So I am always amazed when I talk to you about kind of like all the projects that you have, because I've done a Kickstarter now, right? I've actually done
Yeah,
two. One failed and one succeeded. And I know how much work it is, and just sort of like organizational, getting the page all right, getting the dates all right, pushing all the buttons, all that stuff. So the fact that you do this like once a month is always staggering to me. So kudos, Kickstarter God.
it's definitely gotten easier because there's a formula to everything, and especially with ours, we do the same type of game every month. So it's real. It's kind of it fits into this mold, but it's crazy. It's usually the night before Kickstarter is like almost an all nighter every time, and then it was the day they locked down our town here and said you can't be out after 8 p.m. So I had to like move my office to my house that day and to do this little all nighter before Kickstarter.
Well, that's
But
good. You'll remember this one more, right? Like that makes this one more memorable. And it's like the game is about stacking piles of skulls, so thematic a little bit, I guess.
yeah, it's timely.
Yeah.
It's the
uh,
plague from before coming back.
yeah, morbid humor, morbid humor. I apologize. So this game, the theme, I gave it away a little bit, is this crazy church in the Czech Republic. And Dustin, I wanted to ask you specifically about this because every time I play one of either Jason's games or any other game that I'm playing on streams, I always wonder about kind of the origins of, was it the idea, did the idea come from a life experience, or was that put on top of after the fact? And we were chatting a little bit beforehand, but how did this one get, how did this, was it always a skull stacking game, or was it something less morbid earlier on?
Yeah. So Bunch I was putting on their monthly challenges for a bit. The specific challenge was design a 18 card game based on a real life location, a real world location. So that's where I started with that idea, going back to some of my travels that I've done, and one place kind of stood out that I was like, okay, this is a place that probably needs a game made about it. And they made sure that something hadn't already been made about a game about it. And it was the Sedlec Ossuary in Czech Republic. I was there in like 2012 or maybe 2011, something like this, traveling with my wife, doing a bit of backpacking. And it's just this really crazy underground chapel about an hour outside of Prague, where I think it's the 16th century. Uh, they basically this monk, apparently a half-blind monk, dug up these graves his whole life and stacked these bones inside the chapel because the graveyard was just overrun with bodies from the Black Plague and the various wars and crusades and whatnot. Um, so that was really interesting. Kind of like this these six giant pyramid stacked like stacks of bones there in the church. And then like a couple hundred years later, this woodcarver went in and took all those bones, cleaned them all up, and then made these really ornate sculptures out of them. Really crazy stuff. Like there's this bone monstrance, there's the coat of arms, there's this huge chandelier made from like one of every bone in the human body. So just some really crazy stuff. And it's really ornate, really, really well done. Like even the coat of arms, if you look really closely, it's got this made all out of human bones, this crow pecking at like a soldier's eyeball.
I already saw that. Wow.
Yeah. And so like you look closely at these things and you're like, oh my God, this is so crazy, like what someone was able to do. So yeah, it was definitely the location first. And I was like, how do I make a cool game out of that?
Yeah, no, that's cool. if folks who are watching, if you have not gone, there's great videos of this stuff like out on YouTube of the location, just lots and lots of shots. And that'll lead you down a very interesting hole on YouTube also of other ossuaries in other places in Europe. But the one thing that you mentioned before we came on that I agree with is like, it's to such a level that it loses all creepiness, right? It's like so ornate and so grandiose that like, it's not just like a dusty like catacombs. Like it's like this celebration of bones, right? So it is something else to look at. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like memento mori, it's like celebrate life, right? That's kind of what it's meant to be. But yeah, apparently they just I guess just recently cleaned all the bones really well, but someone goes in with a toothbrush to clean all the bones like every so often. It kind of I think I read that somewhere. So it's like they spend a lot of time.
God, I gotta
nice.
get my
Yeah,
I gotta dust off my resume and send it over there. I want that bone cleaning gig.
Hard work.
Okay, so this was a winner, or it was a runner up of one of the famous Button Shy contests. So how nerve wracking like is this? I know that you're in the video games industry currently, right? So like, was this like a big nervous adventure for you? Was this kind of like a side gig, or have you done other board game or card game stuff in the past, and this was just kind of like one of many?
So yeah, I've been in video games for about 20 years, and worked on some pretty awesome games, including 2018's Game of the Year, God of War was my last game that I worked on. I recently left because every night I just like had these ideas. I wanted to make board games, and so yeah, I left recently in October, and it was a perfect time because that's exactly when Jason started doing the contests. So I'd always been kind of like doing on the side, like making little games here and there, and made some games when I was a kid. But I kind of want to get back to it, especially just like sitting down at a table with players and actually like interacting with them rather than it's all online now, video games mostly, in terms of multiplayer interactions. So yeah, it just was something I really wanted to do, and it was perfect time for like when Jason started the contests. So I actually entered in the contest starting in October, and I think was it Enemy Lines won November?
It won November. It won in October.
It won in October. But I thought October, September, right? October.
September was identical, October was in hand, and November was real life location.
Yeah, so it was a game that you have to play that doesn't use a surface or a table. I ended up actually winning that one while I was like finishing up designing Skulls of Sedlec. So it was all this kind of crazy stuff happening at the same time.
Very cool. And Jason, it was when you were standing looking in that cabinet or whatever behind you, I was terrified. It was like the beginning of a horror movie, like you were looking around and like
seriously,
like a feral child was gonna like jump out at you.
Well, so we're in my bedroom. We're in my bedroom because this whole virus has us working from home. But next to my bed for years is a real life skull that my wife has. She taught biology at the time and teaches science. And she has this skull, and it's a skull that pops open and you can see inside of all of it. And it was like on our side dresser forever. And apparently it's up in that thing right there. I was trying to see if I can pull it out, but I can't really get into it.
Oh, all right. No, that's no problem. We don't have to have a real skull on the stream, although that would have been cool.
Yeah, if Dustin gets talking again, I'll check one more time.
All right, cool. Dustin, you were getting a shout out for your deep voice in the chat. So impressive voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to pitch it up in videos so people can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's really, I was watching back on one of the videos. It's really deep on one of them. I don't know which one, but maybe the first video you did for our September contest.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, I like it. I think it's great. You don't just sound kind of like a nasally normal guy like me. So that's good.
I just remember it not being as deep in person as it was on that video.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes maybe it just changes. Maybe in the evening it's deeper. I don't know.
So Jason, what's the plan for the next few months Kickstarter wise? I mean, we're in virus world now, right? At least for some sort of future. We don't know how long, right? So is that Is that gonna waylay some plans, or how's that gonna work for you guys?
So basically, instead of having my full staff that assembles our games, it's basically like my kids assembling games. They were doing it here yesterday. My wife assembles them super fast.
OSHA, if you're listening, that was a parody. He wasn't actually saying that his kids were doing the work. Nope, it was a joke. All right.
They want money, so they want to buy $50 on Fortnite. They got to make 50 games. But no, so like they're just bored and looking for stuff to do. But I don't know. It's basically like we're gonna go forward with everything as long as there's an audience still there. Kickstarter seems like it's a little slower than normal right now. I've heard that kind of across the board. We're doing just as well as we need to for us, which is cool because we can go at this baseline that's way lower than anybody else because of the way that we produce things. But our Patreon basically kind of dictates our schedules. We need a new wallet game every single month. So we've got the next few months. A couple of them are getting ordered now. Some of them are planned to be kickstarted, and we're just going to keep going with it. Hope for the best. If things don't do as well as we thought they would have, when things get better, we'll kind of bring them back into the mix, kind of get some more eyes on them somehow. Just keep going at manageable numbers that we can do with just a few of us here.
Cool. That's good to hear. I mean, because I don't know. Every time I've seen so many folks who have planned long-term Kickstarters, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, to have it hit right now for those folks is heartbreaking, obviously, and anybody else who had long projects that were planned for this period. But that's good to hear that you guys are gonna be able to keep going.
It was hard because like we had stuff coming from China at the end of January that's just starting to hit now, starting to get here, which is good. So now we finally have it here. And they said there's no impact on orders right now from our China people, but our US suppliers are starting to have a little trouble with orders. So we're keeping it moving, but just expecting delays.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I just received a couple weeks ago my restock Button Shy Kickstarter. Yeah. So I've been playing those. I got Turbo Drift, Stew, and Mint Julep. Yeah, and I think Mint Julep is the winner of those three. I like Mint Julep a whole lot.
Mint Julep's really good. That one's I think that one was the most ordered out of that whole set.
Okay.
Everything was really close though. I was surprised. I was like, oh, there's going to be one that people ordered a ton of, and then something people ordered none of, and then we're going to have to buy the same number of each of them. But no, they were all pretty close. But Mint Julep, every order I ship has Mint Julep in it almost.
That is just a really cool, unique game. And then I actually am kicking myself that I didn't get any of the single player solo games now that I'm just in the house all the time. I would love a couple solo games, but
someone made a solo mode, like a fan solo mode for Mint Julep.
Oh, I gotta check that out on BGG then. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So I say let's get into some playthroughs. We have folks in chat. If you have questions about the game, about rules or whatever, jump in. It's very straightforward. The way that it's going to work is we each are trying to build our own pile of skulls, and the way the pile of skulls is built is kind of like a pyramid. So we're going to have 3 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, 1 on the top. We start on the bottom and move our way up. We have a couple of options on each of our turns. We can either take a card off one of these 6 piles, if there's a card here that we like, or we can dig for skulls. So we can dig out 2 piles. So that means just flip over a card on 2 piles. And after you do that, you have to take one of those 2 cards. Or you can play a card from your hand. And if you play a card from your hand, you're just putting it into your stack. You have a hand limit of 2. So that comes into play here where you can actually kind of force people to end up taking cards that maybe they don't want, and sort of strategize with how you're building your skull piles. The cards are all well, they're not all unique, but there's a bunch of different skull types, and you see 2 of them right now on the screen. There's peasants, there's criminals, there's priests, there's romantics, there's royals, and I think that's it, right?
5, yeah, I think that was it, right?
In the expansion, there's one more. There's executioners, but we're not playing with the expansion. So there are those 5 different skull types, and how they score at the end of the game is different depending on skull type. And it's all about how you get skulls next to each other, adjacency, but also like positioning, so certain skulls over top of other skulls. And as we're playing through, we'll kind of talk through the rules. You'll pick it up quickly. And it plays quick. It's like 10, 15 minutes, and you can play 2 to 3 players in the versus mode, and there is a solo mode as well, which... Does that ship with the base pledge, Jason, the solo mode?
It's like our replacement for stretch goals, so we just give it away.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get going. I don't remember if there was a cheeky how you choose first player. Is there?
I don't know.
Whoever went to the cemetery graveyard last.
Oh, okay. You know, I don't know the last time I was at a grave.
It's been a year for me.
Okay, so
that's probably sooner than me. So I think Jason goes first.
All right, so we'll do Jason, Dustin, James, and that's perfect because that's the order that I have on the screen here. So that'll work out well.
Perfect.
All right, Jason. So what's your play?
I'm gonna take that one. I'm gonna take the. Yeah. I like my priests.
I like priests too. I was playing against my daughter who is 7, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna crush her, right? And so cards are coming up here in the top left, Jason. If you can't see them, you can always click the zoom extents button to sort of zoom yourself out. But that one's yours, and then you can just keep it in your hand by picking it up. There's the little pickup button after you click on it one time, and then you'll be able to see it, but we won't be able to see it. So that's how we maintain secrecy.
Okay.
But I was playing against my daughter, and I thought, oh yeah, this is gonna be no problem, right? But then she got 5 levels of priests, and I wasn't paying attention. Like I was doing like romantics, and I was getting them paired up, and I was like, yeah. And then she was like, oh, I didn't realize that's what I was supposed to do, but I did it, and I only won by 1 point. So I still I want to make it clear that I didn't lose, but but I learned my lesson that I have to pay attention to the priests.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you kind of have to pay attention to what everyone's doing, and sometimes you have to take cards away from them, or also just make sure that you don't screw yourself with what you take.
All right, Dustin. So where do you want to dig?
All right, so I'll flip over the top left 2 piles there. Oh. Big one. That's an interesting choice early on. I'll go ahead and take the royal.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about the royal is you want the royal to be as high in the pile as you can get them. And so taking them early is tricky because if you take them early, you're probably going to have to play them early. But you might be able to hang on to them until late game. So we'll see if, Dustin knows what he's doing, so he's probably going to. All right, so I'm going to... see. Yeah, Dustin, I have you kind of like right in this zone, and then I'm over here. All right, so I'm not going to take that hated double criminal. I'm going to leave that one. One thing I was going to ask you, Dustin, strategy-wise, I never found a particular strategy yet as to like, should you try to dig all the way down through piles early, or if you should try to like have a lot of available piles. Do you think that there's strategy involved in which piles you're choosing, or is it kind of random?
I just personally, and I haven't really kind of like analyzed this too far, but I try to not dig through a full pile. I guess I probably would though if I knew that I was in the lead, to give the other player less options. Maybe that might be something you could do. But I generally try to give myself options by not going through a full pile.
Yeah.
But yeah, that does happen.
So what you're saying is I'm gonna dig right through this pile just to piss off Dustin. No, I'm not gonna do that. No. All right, let's see what I can up here. Oh man, look at that.
Oh.
Holistic developer, good to see you. Okay, so this one I'm going to take. I'll take the lower peasant, mainly because royals will get you more points if peasants are below them. So I want the lowest possible peasants. Of what I. Oh, all right. So there we go. All right, Jason.
I'm going to play mine.
Mm-hmm. So probably the cleanest way is like to you can click it and then click drop, which is that same bottom left button that you use to pick up. Yep. And then if you double click it, it'll flip it over face up so we can all see it. So there you go.
Okay.
So the line.
Sorry.
I was going to say, one thing to know is your stacks are always built from the bottom up. So you're always going to place starting your bottom row, and then everything kind of has to be adjacent. And then to go up, it needs to be between and centered between cards. So
I have never. So that's interesting, Jason. I have never seen. I've never played. I never started playing cards out of my hand when I didn't have two until very late. Late, I would start screwing people by playing what was in my hand just to make them choose from crap, essentially. But I haven't seen it done early, so that's interesting.
So my reasoning was, I kind of want criminals, obviously, because I have a priest, but I figured they might hang around for a little bit because there's two of them there. Both will be good for me.
Yep.
And I just didn't want to give you guys any more information, so that's what I'm trying. Like I said, it's between me and you, and Dustin's kind of gonna, destroy us.
Maybe we can figure out a way to team up against him.
Exactly. We'll see. We'll see if this works for me.
Okay. I'm gonna dig those top two cards.
Oh man, I love that double priest.
Everybody loves the double priest.
Love the double priest.
I will take the double priest.
Yep.
Now we got to get all these criminals so he doesn't get.
Yeah, now we got to be stealing all the criminals. Yeah, exactly.
Criminal.
All right, so I'm gonna take the low peasant high criminal.
All right, I'm gonna take the double criminal. I'll take one for the team.
Thank you. Since you said it, I was like, all right, well, we're gonna let Jason jump on that particular grenade.
Okay, I'm gonna place my.
Hold on, where did that go?
Oh, it'll come in a second. I hadn't scanned it yet.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine.
I got it.
All right.
Okay, I'll place my. Did I place it? No.
Oh yeah, you drop it, and then if you double click it, it'll flip over. There you go. And then you can pick that one back up if you couldn't see it. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so the double priest is out.
Yeah.
And so priests are especially good because you get 2 points for every row that they're in, and that's not row of cards; it's a row of skulls. So every card represents 2 rows of the total stack. So Dustin already has for those 2 priests 4 points banked, and then any criminals he can attach to those priests, he's going to get 2 more points for every single one of those criminals. So, so yeah, that's a good opening card. All right, so I'm gonna play this guy right here. That's my turn.
All right, I'm gonna flip 2 and take 1. So let's go with the both on the far left.
So this one as well?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and now they're in. We got some romantics. So the romantics are kind of a risk reward. They're harder to score with. You have to connect 2 romantic skulls together, adjacency. But then you get 6 points for that pair. So as an individual, they can score 3 points, but you have to marry them to another romantic skull.
And in all my times demoing this game, the most popular question was, can you pair 3 of them? And the answer is no.
in the original prototype, you could.
You were probably going to get bombarded with questions immediately on that.
I'm the 16th century.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to take that priest romantic.
Yeah. That's another good one right there. What's interesting is that we've only seen 1 royal, if I'm right, and that one's currently in Dustin's hand. Just to remind everybody what cards Dustin. But only 1 royal, and the royals are interesting because you got to kind of sit on them if you want to get the good points off of them, because you got to wait till they're high.
And there's only 4? Is there only 4 in the deck?
There's only 4 in the deck total. Yeah.
Right,
so they're rare.
I'm going to.
Is it my turn? It's my turn, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I was about to skip your turn. Please, after you.
I will take that criminal peasant.
So who did the art for this one?
Marty Cobb. He's done a lot of stuff for us. Antinomy. I'm trying to think of Wonder Tales. He's my brother-in-law. He lives 2 blocks away.
Cool.
He's a good one to have.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. It's simple, but it's really like obvious the difference between the skulls, right? And every single card, the thing that I like about it a lot is that the rules for the skulls are on the cards as well. So there's no going back to the rule book to figure out how they score or anything like that. Like it's
debated
all
that
right in front of you.
It looks great without the rule in there, but the rule's so helpful.
It is
Like,
incredibly helpful. I think you made the right decision. I get that like it would look cool with just the skulls on, but yeah, I think
try to make the text as subtle as possible, where you could almost not like, you could ignore it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. When Jason first told me that, I was like, well, it's only 5 skulls. But now that I see it, it's like it just fades into the art. You don't even see it unless you want to see it, right? Exactly like I said. And I think it'll help a lot, especially when players start to play like expansions or like solo mode with additional rules and stuff. So it just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, and it just makes it makes the first playthrough the one thing I like about it is the first time you get somebody else to play, you're like, don't even worry about the scoring. You'll see it on the cards. Like, you don't need a little card cheat sheet.
Yeah.
It's all there in front of you, which I think is smart.
There's a few games where I say the opposite, where I'm like, we're building this for the core players, for the long haul, for the players that forget their first game. This is the game for their 10th game and their 15th game. But this one is so like wide open for audience. Like that first game is crucial.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna dig as well, because let me tell you, I got to get myself a priest, and we're gonna hope here.
Oh.
You know what? That's some real frustration right there. But I'm gonna take the royal.
There you go.
Just because I don't give those up. I feel like the scoring opportunity is really high with the.
Well, what's interesting is we have to play. I guess we all would have had to play. Never mind. I was gonna say me and Dustin have to play, and it would still be there next time for you, but you'd be at 2 anyway.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so whatever's there is going to be there when it comes back to my next turn. So,
and that's where everybody the 2 card hand comes very interesting, and that's why like I think breaking off the cycle that the other players are on can be very advantageous. We all ended up on the same cycle, but if you're able to break off, you can ensure that you get the cards you want on the swing back, which Jason is getting that benefit right now, which is.
I sure am. Okay, so I'm going to play one. And let's see what kind of space I have here. I'll just go here. If I go here and I go to the left of that, am I going to hit the?
Oh no, I think you should be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go there.
You can always move them too if we need to. All right.
I don't know what the video is on yours. It's close on mine.
Oh, the video is, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, one of your videos.
The video screen of the cards was about 1 card higher on my screen.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I would have hit it eventually.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna play a card here on my turn.
Question from chat, Jason. I assume the best place for folks to see the rules for this game is just on the Kickstarter page, right? Currently.
On the Kickstarter page, there's a link to the print and play at PMP Arcade, and the print and play has the rules right in it. It's Dustin's original rules, which are very good. We're gonna go to our rules editor and everything, but these are very clear rules, so not like our usual rules. And you have to go through the checkout process at PMP Arcade, but it's free, so you could just put anyone's name and all in there. But you'll get the game, a black and white version of the game with a little bit of color. The icons are in color, and the rules. Cool. And the solo too. You'll get a solo preview.
So I posted the link to the Kickstarter in the chat. So for folks who want to go check it out and back it or find out more about it or whatever, one of the cool things that Button Shy does with their campaigns is you can add other games as well. And so that opportunity is on this campaign as well. And I couldn't recommend Button Shy stuff more. I have a whole pile of them all throughout my house and in my backpacks and in my pants and all over the place. So it's perfect.
Pants are where they should be, though, because they're wallet-sized games. We should explain that.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's actually a good point.
Button Shy makes legacy big box games.
You're right, and I've been stuffing them in my pants for years. They come in these very cool wallets. So this is the standard Button Shy one, but I gotta say, Jason, you guys sent me a copy of this, but I still want to buy it because I love the textured wallet.
Oh yeah.
Lines. So when you buy a game from Button Shy, the wallets themselves always are well designed as well. They have texture on them, and then they have the logo for the game, and they're all unique. And I really think they're all very cool. Jason's probably going to grab one of the 2 dozen or whatever there are.
But hopefully, it brings back the leather one. Have you seen the leather wallets?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so Jason, what do you got? Let's see.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. This is my son's collection, so we have no idea what's here. Launch time. Turbo Drift.
Yep.
Earlier. Hot dogs. That's a rare one. Cal Tiger Santa Claus. And Wildcats. My son has all the ones that everybody keeps asking me for because they don't exist anymore.
That is cool. Okay, so we're on a tangent there. I lost track. It's my turn, right?
I think it's your turn, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
it's you.
all right, so we're gonna do. Shout out from Holistic Developer for Circle the Wagons, which, was that in your restock? That wasn't in the restock campaign, right?
No, we keep reprinting it on our own because
Okay.
it's just one of those evergreen-ish, whatever our version of evergreen is.
Yeah, I gotta just buy myself a copy of that because everybody talks about it. I played it once at a convention, and I need to have one for myself. Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right, I am going to take that Criminal Romantic.
So you definitely got in the catbird seat there by getting off of our draw order. That worked out well. I've always it makes me laugh that the catbird seat, is that the best seat or is it the second best seat? It's like the catbird seat isn't the person who's driving.
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird saying, so anyway.
Yeah, I guess it's second best, but
yeah, I don't know. I've always used it as if it meant best, but it doesn't seem like it's the best.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and flip 2. I'm gonna flip those middle column.
Oh.
And look at this. The rich get richer.
Okay,
I know what I'm not getting is I'm not getting a royal.
I will take that top royal.
I'm never gonna get a priest. I'm gonna finish this game with just like a pile of criminals and no priests.
You need the executioners then. That'll help.
That would have been really good. Okay, so I'm going to. I'm taking the royal. Sorry, Jason. I'm gonna take it.
That's fine.
This is a weird move. It really might. People at home are screaming like they can see my card and they're like, "What?"
No, it's probably the right move.
I'm sitting on this double criminal that I took for this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you took the double criminal bullet. I forgot about that.
It's not going. All right, it's my turn, right? I'm placing. Let's see. Yeah. Done.
Okay. Okay, I'm also going to place this one. Whoops. Here.
Oh, no, you're allowed to do that. I thought you had to finish your bottom row first.
No, you can go up as long as you started with the 2 below.
Okay, all right. Well, that is a rule change in my house. I had been always forcing my children like a demon that you have to do the rows below.
The children are screaming now.
Yeah. So okay, that's good. That's cool. So that does give you some flexibility while you're building to get like a royal early and put it in an advantageous position and not get screwed by it. Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah, so the specific rules, as long as you have 2 cards, you can build one up above it. In a 3-player game, the bottom row always has just 3 cards. So
it's one of those ones where it feels so naturally that everyone's going to want to put 3 and then 2 and then 1 that we're going to have to put dedicate a page of rules to it.
Yeah, these are allowed moves.
This is allowed. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to play. And that pile of all right, I'm gonna place this. Yeah, Holistic Developer. There is some historical accuracy with the theme. It's the ossuary of Sedlec, which is in the Czech Republic, and it's like a bone church, like tons and tons and tons bones in big piles and decorations and art and all sorts of stuff. You should do a quick Google search for that as well.
All right. You know what? That card isn't so bad. For me. Sure, I'm gonna take the one that's there.
Hey, not taking the risk. I like it.
No.
Just trying to pinch Dustin into whatever I can force him into.
Yeah, my royals don't do much without peasants, right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dude, it's a little card counting here.
See, this is that moment, Jason, that I always hate. Like when I'm playing against the person who's played the game like 100 times, and they're like, "Okay, let me figure out exactly where I am."
He knows like which priests are left and if they're tops or bottoms as well.
Exactly.
Because there's only one, I believe, and I don't know if it's a top or a bottom.
Okay, I'm gonna flip over, dig the top, the left 2 cards. Sorry, left
of course.
Well, it's a top.
Yeah. Yeah, I will take that romantic.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh wait, that one came in a little bit weird. Hold on.
It's a shorty.
Yeah, there. Oh, whoa. I like this card. Hold on.
Just switch it with something that doesn't help him.
I like that idea. Yeah, hold on. It really didn't. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
That's kind of cool, actually. We're gonna zoom in. It just brought in the skull. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it has the ability to bring in PNG, like transparent PNGs when it finds something like a strange shape. All right, so that one came in ugly, but we're gonna use that one. That's weird. I wonder why it started not liking the reds.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So there, yeah, that one looks like a real bone.
Give it the dust.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, so we got some facts coming into the chat here. The ossuary is estimated to contain the skeletons of between 40 and 70,000 people, whose bones have, in many cases, been artistically arranged to form decorations and furnishings for the chapel. It's a good description. It's wild.
Didn't you say it was pretty small, Dustin?
Yeah, it's not huge. Like it's not like the catacombs underneath Paris or anything like this. It's a relatively small chapel. It's kind of unassuming from the outside. You wouldn't really know, besides like a graveyard or whatever. But once you go inside, it's like whoa, and it's kind of a little bit underground. But yeah, it's not huge at all. Some pictures have widescreen ones, so it looks like really big. But yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'd say maybe 1,000 square feet, maybe a little bit more. I don't know exactly how big it is, but it's just crammed with crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm taking that priest. So gotta get at least one.
All right.
So this is where we're in gambling zone. Towards the end here. Good.
So it's what we should note is 3 players. We are building 3, 2, 1 for our pyramids, and in 2 players it's 4, 3, 2. So we're each getting 1 more card, and yeah. Okay. Something's going on the top here. All right, I am going to pop down. So all priests are in. Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna put this one. I'm gonna play this one. There.
Okay, I'm gonna play this one.
That the ugly one? Yeah, the weird one.
The funky one over here.
Not like that card for some. All right, I'm gonna play this one.
Ooh, it's a lot of peasants.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna flip 2. Let's go with the 2 on the that one column.
Right. Oh, there is another priest.
Yeah, and I could use that, and it's gonna make my top. That's fine. I'm gonna take it.
All right, so you're taking priest.
Yeah.
Okay, well I will take that romantic.
Oh man, you can put that right in, can't you? Marry it up to your gross romantic.
Mine got a little funky too with
Did
the
it?
red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it must be. It's just a little bit. Before we play the next game, I'll switch. All right, so I'll switch it to using different white balance. Okay, so I get a romantic, which oh man, look how awful this card is. Look how awful that is for your final card. Just oh man, especially for my set, I don't have any romantics. Oh yeah, yeah. Holistic developer, yeah, Dustin has been there. So it was a trip that he went on with his wife, and then he used it as a hey, I gotta make a game out of this crazy place sometime in the future. So okay.
All right.
So now we just play it out. So there's no there's really no intrigue after this point. So we can
exactly.
put our stuff out however we see fit. Okay. There we have it. Oh yeah, didn't like that red one too on yours, Jason. Okay. So, all right. So here's how scoring works. The way I've done it is I start with royals. I go royals, priests, romantics, criminals, peasants. It's kind of my order of operations. So if we look at Jason's, he has 0 for royals because he doesn't have any. For priests, I start with doing the rows. He gets 2 for every unique row that the priests are in. So he's in 3, so that's 6 points. And then his romantics are paired. So that's another 6 points because you get 3 points for each of the 2 paired romantic skulls. So he's at 12 points. His criminals, he will get 2 points for every criminal that is touching a priest. 2, 4, 6.
8. This one as well.
Yeah, all of them. So that gets him to 20, and then he gets 1 point for each peasant. So 2 more, so he's at 22. Sound good to you guys? All right.
Yeah. All
right, Dustin, you can do your score because I am mortified of public arithmetic.
You did it great last time. Okay, so I've got we'll do royal. So this royal here scores 2 for the peasants below it. So that's 2. And this royal scores 1, 2, 3, 4. He scores for every royal and peasant below it. So that's a total of 6, I believe. I'm going to do peasants next just to make it easy. 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 point for each peasant. And then priests, 2 for each unique level. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 points. I have 1 criminal, so that's 19 points. And a paired set of romantics is another 6 points, 3 points each. So is that 25?
Yep, 25. So 25 to 22. You had 22, right, Jason?
Yep.
All right. So I think I'm going to be below that, but we'll see. So royals, we'll start at the top. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 below it. So it gets 4. This one has 3 below it. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for the priest. 13, 14, 15, 16. That's it. 25, 22, 16. All right, good first game. All right, so Jason, you win in the non-designer category.
Yeah, exactly. That double criminal actually helped me out.
Yeah, that double criminal worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were able to stack those nice.
I was saving that for the top for just 0-0, but I managed to get that priest and it worked out.
Yeah, that worked out good. Okay, so you can just you can actually hit shift if you hold well, I'll just do it. If you hold shift and do left click, you can actually do a multi-select. I'm just gonna blow them all away.
Boom.
Cool. So Dustin, have you ever done any board game online stuff? Have you ever played any of the online board game tools in your life?
You mean like Tabletopia?
Tabletopia, Tabletop Simulator. Did you do that at all when you were doing prototyping for Skulls of Sedlec, or how did that work for you?
Yeah, actually, I did a playtest, I think, with Skulls of Sedlec on Tabletop Simulator.
Cool.
Yeah, so used that. That was the first time I tried that. I used Tabletopia a little bit before that as well, and that's worked out pretty well.
I just got my annual or whatever monthly email or Kickstarter message from Tabletopia asking if we want to put our game on this one on there. Happens every time. It happens every time, so I don't think it's anything special, but yeah, it's one of those. I always see those messages come in.
Okay, so we're gonna do it. You guys want to do one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. All right, so let's do one more, and this one we're gonna take Dustin down. One of us is gonna win. Jason, are you
Yes.
ready?
Or we could play a 2-player. I could sit out and comment.
No.
Sideline.
I want a shot. This is like when Homer tries to take down Bart, and he beats him in that fighting game, and then he retires. That's an old Simpsons reference.
Yeah.
Man. You got to get it in.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll take him down eventually, right? Okay, so let's shift to the starting position 1,
Okay.
and so we'll start with Dustin, and he is presented with this Sophie's Choice that is in front of him, the double criminal out of the gate.
I will take it.
All right. Calculations are whizzing away. I'm gonna stop the scanning for just a second. I'm gonna change the white balance. Sometimes the auto white balance when it's red's a bit wonky, so we're gonna just change it. Descent mode.
Oh, it's okay for me to take this one?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Don't want to have that weird burned down looking red card again. Okay, so I'll just start digging from the top left. I'm gonna take.
Oh, I'm gonna dig. I have to. Let's go with the bottom middle and to the right of that. Oh, jeez. Oh no. All right, I'm gonna go with the. I have to go with the priest.
Yeah. That's a great card to get with your first card.
Yeah, exactly.
That's isn't that the card I got first last game?
It didn't. Hold on. It didn't like my switch. So.
Oh really?
I don't know what's going on tonight. Made any changes? Phone's got the virus.
Oh wow, yeah.
All right, there you go.
What do I do with this one?
You can just there's a trash button.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, my turn.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna dig those 2 right cards.
Ooh, a lot of options out on the table.
Yeah. Oof. Okay, I'll take the royal priest.
Take criminal romantic with the romantic on the.
In a tough spot. Let's see. I'm gonna dig left column, both.
All right. A lot more digging this round.
All right, I will take. Oh no, this is tough. I'm gonna go with the priest romantic.
So Holistic Developer says, good job on the rules, Dustin. He took a look at the rules. Although he does say it seems like a lot to fit into the wallet game's form factor. So that's your problem, Jason.
They're rules wizards over there.
My problem every month. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good in-depth descriptions of each type that are going to have to go. But at the time that he made those, they weren't on the card at all. So I think we have a little safety net with just having to further explain the card a little bit than before, where you had to fully explain it.
Yep.
Yeah, I put in a whole bunch of extra extra stuff that could be definitely edited down to what's really essential.
My job is cutting words, and then the rules editor comes in and triples them. So it's a fun process, but I'm okay at cutting things in half.
And for folks who don't have any Button Shy games, like they are rule books. There's a few pages in them. It's not just a card, but they are very, very small. They have to fit in that wallet. So
it's an 8-panel.
There you go.
But one panel is the cover art. So it's 7 panels.
Yep.
Try to squeeze it in, not get too tiny. it works. We've had to go into 2 of these at times, but I don't think we will for this game.
Okay, I'm gonna wait. Whose turn is it? It's Jason's turn.
No, I think it's your turn.
No, I
You
started
went first.
right?
Yep.
You started,
Yep. Okay. I will place this one. That a double criminal.
This one right.
I'm already gonna lose this game. So. You know already. Oh. Oh man. Yeah. Why would I do this? Hold on. I'll do it. Sure. That's going there.
So in the course of the design process, Dustin, how much did like the total number of skulls fluctuate? You know, did you have a lot of different types? I know that you have the one in the expansion, but were there other ones?
Yeah. Oh, so the very first iteration of the game,
Yep.
every skull had a name and it was unique and had like specific rules. And it was like, this is Mary. She wants to be paired with, Alex or whatever, right? And,
Yep.
it was neat. It was neat to kind of like play with that, and it had more symbols, and it was way more complicated of a game. But yeah, as I started playing that, I was like, this needs to be pared down. This needs to be simplified. As I play tested more, it became more and more apparent what was fun, right? And then those unique skulls eventually became, a system of little suits of skulls that became what it is today. And I think the last tweak, there was one extra suit called nobles, and nobles were kind of like the mid ground. They wanted the peasants below them, and then the royals wanted the nobles below them, right? And it was just too much, and so I just kind of consolidated that into the royal one. So there was some paring down, obviously, like you do with any game, editing out what wasn't necessary, right? I think the other big change was that royals or romantic, sorry, you could pair them up in big groups. They were more like socialites, I guess. Like they wanted all be kind of together, right, rather than like truest romance, like marriage, like it is kind of represented now.
Having
So
just pair is great because it's such a agonizing decision whether to take them or not.
yeah,
You don't know if you're going to get the other one.
Yeah, especially in a 3-player game, because
Yeah.
you might just never see another one, really. So.
And then there's the interesting thing about which skulls are paired with which skulls. And after, after Jason signed the game and we spoke, and I was like, here's this, like after playtesting a little bit more, here's some more tweaks I'd like to do with the pairings and how things all work out. And we got to this final set, and I think it feels really good now. It feels like everything's pretty balanced. Everything works kind of together. There's enough, romantics where they feel strong, not just a total risk. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
I brought it up because there was a comment in the chat that just the thematic nature of the pairings works really well, or the thematic nature of each of the skull types works well too, which I'm sure took a little bit of figuring. You say, okay, well, I have this mechanic I want to use. What would fit that type of a mechanic? But I was hoping for one that was like, doesn't want to die, right? So, so it's like the Emperor skull, and like you actually can't place it, because if you place it, you don't get any points.
I can tell you inside information that there's a Google Doc with like 1 million more types.
Good.
This is like we have a cool expansion. I love games that have like great expansion models where you just add one extra little expansion of one new skull type, so you're dealing with 6 instead of 5. It's real easy on the brain, not a lot to process, and then you could swap in a different one as we release more and more. So executioners are first, and there's a couple kind of vying for the next one after that.
Cool. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Okay, so Dustin,
I think it's my turn, right?
I believe. Yep.
I will dig. I need to find some pre-salt. Yeah, that one and the next one over. Should be great. No. Oh God.
Bad news. It's going to be a priest bonanza on the bottom level here.
Yeah, okay, I will. Oh gosh, I'll take that romantic peasant.
Romantic peasant, you got it.
Of course you will, because that's one I want.
This combo is the combo that the scanner did not like. Let's see. It does not. So take a look at it and see if it. Take a look to see if it. I can tell just by the shape. Oh no, it's on the bottom.
Yeah, it's gone.
What the? Because we scan everything against like essentially like a neon pink background.
So it thinks it's that pink.
It might be. It might be, but usually anything that's in the sort of the zone of red is workable. But every once in a while, we run into like just the right hue where the auto color balance will. We've only ever run into one card that Holistic Developer in chat says sounds like a bug, and he's right. But we've run into one card that I could not scan. It's in the game Monster Slaughter, and it's like it's neon pink, and I could not get it to scan in on our hardware, and so I forever will be angry at them for making that. A look into how the sausage is made.
Just Dustin, just pick a different one for now, and it'll be. I'll take that back around.
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do.
I think that one's good. Take a look at that.
Okay. Well.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. Cool. Okay, so it's my turn. I'm going to. I'm going to do something a little bit weird. I'm actually going to place right now. You're up, Jason.
I will take the romantic criminal.
A romantic criminal, that classic trope.
It is kind of fun when you like think about the pairings and what they mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
There we go.
I will drop this one. Right there.
Oh, this is an interesting position because if I dig and I find two priests, Jason won't be able to get one, but Dustin will be able to get one.
Might find a double priest though. It hasn't come out.
I'm definitely gonna dig because I do want to try to find that double big corner. Yes. So I'll take this priest, even though I'm probably never gonna be able to. Or with that romance.
Oh.
All right. I'm playing this one. Get too close. There.
Okay, so you can dig when there's only a single card, and if you do dig and you flip that card up, you have to take that one card. And I think I'm at the point where I have to do that and hope for the best.
All right.
Super risky.
And he gets the priest.
I will take that one.
Yeah, doesn't give a double, but hey, you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Right. So let's see. I'm going to take.
Hey, we're in an interesting spot now because dig is no longer a thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take this.
Oh man. Sorry. No, I gotta do the dig. All right, hold on though. Let me see. I have no peasants. Oh, I'm gonna do the dig.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
How are you gonna have us without any peasants?
All right. You need to have some peasants in that bone pile.
I have this useless.
Oh, and look, he comes up with the big double priest.
I will take that. The problem is that's gonna double up with my other priest that I already have out.
I just like that it's a guaranteed 4 points. I mean, that's such a nice. I guess it's not guaranteed. You could have priests already out in the.
Exactly, it's gonna be 2 for me. it's gonna be 2 for me.
All right, Dustin, what do you?
Okay, I got to drop one here, so I'm gonna play this one. There.
Okay, I'm going to this one.
I'm going to play. Do I want to do this now? I know that's going to happen no matter what.
But it could be there or one over, maybe.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So this counts as adjacency for folks watching. The adjacency doesn't have to be like actually right in the rows. You cannot do diagonals for adjacency. So they have to overlap one of their edges.
It's like a half diagonal, which is legal.
Right.
I say share.
And it's neat
like
because
part of an edge.
Each
not corner to corner.
Like certain card positions don't have that. Like the ones on the bottom only have straight adjacency. The ones that connect the two card rows together have this cool sprawling adjacency.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you get you can get a crazy thing going where you have like a whole bunch of criminals attached to a single priest if you build it the right way.
And then the solo mode also like plays with that adjacency and with different build shapes. You actually build different shapes, and then they'll stack differently. Okay, I'm gonna take that bottom. It is my turn, right? Bottom royal. Yep. I'll take that one.
Oh, with the scanning tonight, I swear. Somehow you guys designed the art that is gonna put me out of business, Jason.
Blame Marty Cobb.
No, hold on. Marty. No, it's the right hue. I'm gonna hear no end of this in our Vorpal board Discord. We originally thought of like the idea of like kind of loop through a bunch of different, so like the cell phones, every single cell phone has like its own white balance routines, and so the name of the game is like which one to use, and we thought maybe we could like rotate through all of them and try all of them and see if it finds an image, but it's just kind of like a slow process for the phone, so we'll see. Okay, so it's my turn. I'm going to I think I have to. I gotta.
Yeah, dig.
For the best. I love it. I'm gonna take this peasant. Grasping at straws here.
Okay. I'm gonna take the priest criminal. I mean priest peasant.
Priest peasant, you got.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna place this one here. Like that.
Okay, I'm going to place
and I'm going to place this one.
Okay, I'll take that peasant.
I will. Let's see. Do I want to force you to take that one?
Choice,
yeah. See, if I knew all the cards, I might. We have all the romantics out, right? There's 6 romantics. Yeah.
6 romantics, 4 royals. Those are the ones I know. I'm gonna guess. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we have all the priests out.
I'm gonna take that royal. I think that's my best.
Yeah. Criminal peasant? Is that what it is? Or peasant criminal? Yeah. All right, it's mine.
Happy with my choice.
All right.
That one's mine, Jason. You took
Oh, sorry.
Eve. The other one would come in.
I wanted that one instead.
Yeah, I know. All right, so I'll place here.
I'm gonna place here.
There we go.
All right. How's everybody feeling? So here's a question for you, Dustin. I ask the same question. I was playing around of Tiny Towns with Pete McPherson, and I asked him, going into final scoring, how often do you really kind of know where you stand? And he kind of gave me an answer where he's like, generally I can kind of tell, but if I'm playing with like 4 people, maybe it's a little bit hard to keep track of everybody's scoring. But how do you, like, coming into this game, what do you think? Do you think you got it?
I think I'm close.
Okay.
But I think this is going to be one that's going to be close for everybody because, yeah, everyone's doing something pretty good. So,
all right.
Yeah, I think this is going to be definitely closer than last game.
All right, let's start on the left. Jason, it's you.
All right, I have 1 point for my royal, 10 points for priests.
Ooh.
11. I have 6 for the romantics. So I'm at 17. Criminals, I have 2, 4. So it gets me to 21. And then 2 points for peasants, 23.
All right.
Slightly better than last time.
There you go.
All right, Dustin.
Okay, I've got 3 points for peasants. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's for royals. I get another 6. That's 9. Priests, 10, 11, 12, 13.
14, 15. You got 6 there.
You get the top one.
Yeah.
Right.
So for priests?
Oh, no, you only
for
have
priests. Sorry. I was counting the criminals. Apologies.
Sorry, where am I?
Oh, no, now we ruined it.
Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 6 for my my criminals. 19. I think that's it, right? Because I didn't. 19.
In the lead. All right.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So my royal is getting me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
James, whatever you do, we've succeeded.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna delete the cards. No big deal. All right. So
I'm out.
yeah, and yeah, I will never play this game again. Okay. So we got 3 for the royal, and then I got 3 more for the peasants. So that's 6. I have these 2 married. So that's 12. And then I have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 for the priest.
There you go. You beat
20.
me too.
All right, we both got it. He threw the game. He was doing it, Jason. He threw the game.
I did take the double criminal early on.
Right, yeah.
Give me a hard challenge.
Yeah, you did make it hard for yourself.
I felt pretty good.
So yeah, that was great. So that showed, I think, a couple of different interesting pathways to victory here. I'm gonna put these guys together and zoom in on our end so
I really held on to my double priest till the end. I don't like to hold on to stuff that long, but it worked out.
Yeah, that worked out really well. And then this is a good kind of indication of the art. Just sort of like when you get these final builds of the skulls, they're cool looking. So when you have them kind of around the table, everybody's got their little build. The single player version is cool just because, as Dustin mentioned, you're building like different shapes. So the single player has little challenges essentially that you're dealing with. And then in a 2-player game, you play with the same number of cards. So you're playing with the 18 cards. So you're building a stack of 9 in the 2-player game. So it's 4, 3, 2. You don't go all the way up to the 1. So yeah, that is Skulls of Sedlec. Guys, I appreciate you both coming on. This is cool. Taking some time out of your virus evenings. And so Dustin, what's your next thing? if people want to follow and know what Dustin Dobson is up to, what's the best way for them to keep track of your design process, and then like what's your game plan? Pun intended.
Yeah. So I plan to probably post more things. Well, one place obviously is the Discord server on Button Shy is a fantastic place. I'll give a shout out to that for just throwing ideas out there, and a really great community to kind of give feedback. So I'm on there every day, kind of seeing what people are talking about. Had for example, I think yesterday someone posted a video, a numbers file YouTube video, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting thing. And then I, started thinking about a design idea about what I wanted to do for that, how to compress into an 18 card idea, and I posted on the Discord server, kind of little quick concept sketch of what that could be like. But yeah, you can follow me on at Dustin Dobson on Twitter. I'll probably post more stuff there as I finish more designs. But next for me, I mean, we have more expansions, kind of like executioners for Skulls of Sedlec. I'm playing around with some ideas for that. Also working on some bigger ideas for bigger games we'll see if I actually finish them, but but bigger box board games that I'd like to get out one day as well. So
very cool. I've always thought that the Button Shy model, to like toot Jason's horn for him a little bit, I think that it is such a cool, and all the people I've talked to who have designed games that have come out via the Button Shy platform is just, it's awesome because it's like, it's a lot of times first games, right? So it takes a designer through the entire process of editing and dialing things in and then getting it all the way ready for production. That to me seems like a really good test bed for, okay, now I'm ready to go try to do something a little bit bigger. Now I'm ready to go try to do something a little bit bigger. Like, do you feel that this was a good sort of, coming from the video game world too, like I'm sure there's differences, but was this a good intro for you as a designer to sort of go through that whole process so you feel ready to do the next thing, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing. Like once kind of like it was the first contest that was like the design contest of being like, make a card game that uses just one card, just the identical card challenge in September or whatever it was.
I remember that one going around, and I was like, what the hell?
Exactly. This blew my mind, and I was like, oh my God. And so I just sat down, I was like, well, that like eliminates all these other things that I would probably spit on for months with any other like, big design that I was working on. And so it really helped me narrow my focus down. And I was like, oh, this is great. I gotta keep doing that. And obviously, I think I got better and better, kind of just like focusing on what I could do with a very, very strict set of constraints, and so then you get to be really creative and hone some skills for design. So yeah, I think that helped quite a bit, and I would absolutely recommend any new designer or experienced designer to go do it. I think it really kind of helps you make some interesting design choices that way and make something, I think, pretty unique. So yeah, that's been fantastic, and yeah, I would agree. The Button Shy challenges have been amazing.
Yeah, so keep doing them, Jason. I know that they're like they're just like they take over your life and they like suck your soul for a
You're on pause because we lost our video guy, but we got nothing else going on, so we might as well bring him back now.
Yeah, that's good. But
I
it's
think really
awesome.
like,
There's
probably some video guys out there now.
Yeah, it makes board game Twitter during those months. For me personally, I'm not a game designer, but like I love being on board game Twitter and just like seeing all the designers like, oh, here's me playing my challenge design, and like people throwing ideas back and forth and stuff. Like I think it makes kind of a community feel. I know that probably it's a little bit overwhelming in terms of how many entrants you get and how many games you got to look through and all that sort of stuff, but
I mean, even just like forwarding them to the judges was just like, let me spend 7 hours forwarding emails. So like each month we fine tuned that and got it a little better and better. So it's not crazy. It's just getting together to play the games is the hardest thing, with other people and things like that. But the other thing was recording a video every week and making sure everybody who was part of it could be there, and having all of our stuff prepared before it, having our video guy ready to edit it on Fridays so we could have it posted on Tuesdays. All that was a lot, but it was awesome. So it's definitely something that I want to do again. And like you said, it's such an easy way into design because it cuts out so much nonsense. Like you only have these 18 cards, you have this other restriction. Anybody can think of something, and most people can execute that in some fashion enough to get to the contest. So it's great for new designers, and it's a great restriction. I don't know. It just cuts out so much stuff that you almost can't not submit.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever had any intents, you had a wrinkle of an idea in the back of your head,
Yeah.
you probably can turn it into a button shy game with
And a
with some work.
prototype's 2 pages, you know,
Right. Yeah.
front and back. So it cuts out just so much of the hard work of making a game. But obviously there's still excellent games that can come out of it. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and varied. That's the thing that always blows my mind is just like how how much stuff can happen within even that very constrained space, right?
Yeah,
Like,
people keep asking like, when are you going to add, tokens and this and that. We've done a couple of games with tokens, but I said we're still getting games that are cards only that are excellent.
yep.
So we don't have to yet.
Yeah, I just played a round of Turbo Drift like 2 days ago, and it's just like that is in the same form factor as this, right? And it's just like
Nothing
utterly different, like completely different, which is
They both have a 6-card draft, 6-card
yeah,
setup.
that's true. Now here's the thought for you, Jason. I was thinking to myself the other day, what would I want out of a button shy game? And this is where I would think would be a very interesting challenge is
Okay.
a button shy game that has a legacy component to it.
Okay. We've talked about it. There's some pitches for stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely
I want
one
like a button shy branded hole punch that I have to punch out parts of
That'd
the
be
cards,
amazing.
right? Like something like so those were the two things I thought of: legacy component, but also so having to make a decision like putting holes in the cards so you can
Yep.
see through to cards below. Right?
That's
like
cool.
I think the idea of destruction in games I currently have a sort of an obsession with, just because obviously like how big legacy games are and stuff now. Like just the idea that I take a card, I read it one time, I don't tell anybody else, I tear it up, I throw it away. Is
Yeah,
like
I love that from a design side, especially because it's permanence. Like it's permanence in design.
Yes.
But people, balk at destroying their games. But for these little like $10 games, I don't think people would complain so much.
Yeah. Or even like just you cut off corners, you fold the cards. I think there's a lot of opportunity for okay, the challenge is you once you play a game, like the card gets destroyed somehow, right? Make a game where the cards are getting destroyed, which people get tense about that, I guess, but I think it's very cool. So
I do too. I think it's really nice design space it's hard to implement. Like releasing a legacy game is first of all, it's a ton of work because
yes.
it goes in a million directions. And we can fine tune that down with just 18 cards, but it's cool design space that's not being used. That permanence, you have permanence a little bit in roll and write.
Yep.
You write something, you usually don't erase it. But there's not a lot of that in card play. So
yeah,
it's
so that's my thought. That's my perfect pie in the sky. Jason's got a lot of time in his house and can't leave his house idea. But so the Kickstarter just has a couple days left, actually, right? Because you run them quick. You run them 10-day windows.
like 10 days. It ends Saturday early in the morning. So the 48-hour emails go out early in the morning on Thursday while people are at work, except for now when nobody's at work.
Yep.
But yeah, so it ends in a couple days, and it's quite a deal. I think our games usually go for $12 plus $4 for expansions. That $16 package is $10 on Kickstarter, so you're saving $6 if you kickstart. We're doing another expansion there. It's like a $3 add-on. They're usually $4, so everything's way cheaper there. And it helps us get a bigger print run and gives longevity to everything.
So this one, I wholeheartedly recommend for folks watching. Two big things for me personally is it's very fast, but it has interesting decisions to be made, mainly because it doesn't feel there's randomness to it, right? But you can steal cards from people, essentially hate drafting cards, and you can force them into plays that they don't like. So there is depth here that gives you a versus feel, which I think is sometimes hard in games that are played this quickly. And then the other thing is that it fits on a table absolutely for like pre-dinner waiting for food to arrive size.
Yeah.
So sometimes games get a little bit spread out, but you have just your 6 piles and then you each make your tower, and it looks bigger on the screen here, but if you just think about 9 cards in this configuration, it does not take up much space at all. So both really good things as far as having it in your back pocket when you're going to a restaurant. I think you guys should get it.
Yeah, you're like a 1 foot by 1 foot square, like your playing field.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it's really good. So great job, guys. Congratulations on the campaign. I hope it really blows up in the last few days. And you don't have to drop off. I'm going to end the stream, but you don't have to like necessarily leave. I can chat afterwards. Thanks to everybody who showed up. And I never even mentioned we're playing in Vorpal board. This is Vorpal board. I'm the world's worst host. So we're playing in Vorpal board. This is our tool that we use for playing board games and tabletop games and card games remotely. We ran a successful Kickstarter earlier in the year. Our late pledges are open. I'm going to drop into the chat where you can find information about that. And then the final question I have for you, Dustin, because you've never used it before. How did you feel playing your game in this system? How did it feel for you for a first time?
Yeah, super intuitive, really easy to use. But it seemed to work pretty seamlessly. Yeah, it was great, especially I think for this game, it was super easy to figure out and play. But cool. Yeah, I would say it's not too different from like, if you know Tabletop Simulator or any web app where you're picking stuff up and dropping it around. It's super easy to use. So
cool.
Great job. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Stay safe out in LA. Hopefully things start calming down out there. Jason, stay safe down in New Jersey. I will attempt to stay safe in Albany, and everybody else. We have some streams coming up. We are taking part in the virtual GaryCon. GaryCon unfortunately was canceled due to the virus, and so there's going to be a lot of streams that are happening for GaryCon for the event, and one of them is Thursday for us. We're doing a Dungeons and Dragons stream that has a lot of really cool terrain and a bunch of creators who are going to be getting together and talking about their particular businesses inside the D&D world. So people who make terrain, people who make accessories for D&D, and then DMs as well. So that one is on Thursday. Check us out on Twitter, on Facebook to find out more details, or follow the virtual GaryCon event and the channel that they have for Gary. So see you all on Thursday. Dustin, Jason, thanks so much, and good night, everybody.
Thank you.